obviously, Odyssey's only had a day or so of practice, but just with her coming in as the only natural point guard, or only healthy natural point guard, do you anticipate her starting tonight?
No, we're going to go with the same starting lineup that we had last game, and then her coming in off the bench, able to give us a lift.
Kelsey obviously can play make, as she showed in the last game, but it's not like her most natural way of playing, I would say. Do you have to tell her to focus on that? Does she just kind of know that as the primary ball handler in these games, she'll do it? How does that kind of process work when it's not a true point guard at the one?
Yeah, I mean, I want her to just do what she's been doing. You know, she's been excellent all year long. She's been efficient all year long. Her decision making has been on point all year long. Yes, we're relying more heavily on her to score, especially with Caitlin out of the lineup, but she's been so effective that I don't want her thinking that she needs to do anything outside of what she's been doing. And so, you know, our ability to get her the ball in the half court and in some of the same situations that she's been able to have it in before and use her instincts. You know, I think it's important. We don't want to overload her. We just want her to be able to play basketball and do what she's been doing throughout the course of this season, because she has been, you know, one of the best in the league all season long, and we want her mindset to just be focused on doing what she does best.
You've been in the league in so many capacities for so long. How many times have you had seasons get disrupted like this by the multitude of injuries?
Never.
Never. This is the first.
Mm-hmm.
So something you don't want to repeat, I trust.
Well, yeah, hopefully not. But
I mean,
you know, I know it sounds cliche, but we control what we can control. And we got a good group, and you know, they're a resilient group, and they're a connected group, and we've got a deep team. So you know, in these unprecedented situations, we have players who are stepping up and giving us, you know, what it takes for us to put ourselves in position for success.
Yeah, Coach, you guys are a physical team, spicy at times, but how do you encourage your players to play physical without losing, you know, their heads or their composure?
You know, I don't know. I think the most important thing is, you know, we continue to talk about, we want people to feel us. And that looks different. Sometimes it's physicality, sometimes it's disruption. You know, being out in passing lanes, not allowing teams to get the ball popping and be in a rhythm. You know, you can feel it in a lot of different ways. You know, I think we have competitive players. I think we've got a competitive, fiery staff too. So, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, it's a good combination, and we understand what we need to do to put ourselves in positions for success, and it's a group that responds to those things.
Steph, in what ways, now that Sophie's healthy and hitting the road well, how much do you feel like the team feeds off her edge in competitive fire and all that she plays with? Something you miss a little bit with Caitlin too.
I think they absolutely do. Her energy, you know, her bubbly personality, her competitive fire. I mean, you know, I don't know that I would say, you know, anyone on our team outside of Sophie would have been spicy before. But it is. I mean, it's something that is contagious, and you know, it's good energy, bad energy, you know, competitive fire, physicality, you know, all of those things are contagious, and she brings a different level of that to this team, and it's something that we needed. We knew that we needed it in the off season, and we were able to address with Soph, and now that she's back to being, you know, as healthy as anybody can be at this point in the year, and finding her stride, I think you're seeing it go to another level.
Kind of following up on that, you've never been in a season with this many injuries before. Was there a specific one where you were just like, again, like another one, or was it just kind of a culmination? It continues to be the same reaction for you kind of deal at this point? I
mean, obviously the two at once,
yeah, right.
You know, was a, and knowing that that's your third, your second and third point guard, in that situation that are out. So it was more of a, you gotta be kidding me, you know, kind of thing. But you know, it's part of it. And I think you take a moment to respond to, you know, the heartbreak that you feel for your players and for, you know, your team that we're having to deal with it again. And then you put one foot in front of the other, and you got to problem solve, and you got to figure out, you know, how are we going to put ourselves in position for success. And again, I say one of the great things, the challenges about having depth is that not everybody gets to play when they should. One of the great things about having depth is even if players are playing out of position sometimes, they're ready to step up to the challenge, and I think that that's what this group is made of.
Coach, how you doing? Josh talked about appreciating your open door policy.
Mhm.
Players that come to you and talk about anything. Why is it important for you as a coach to cultivate an atmosphere that allows for vulnerability with your players?
Well, I was a player, I think, first and foremost. And, I played for a lot of coaches, 3 and 4 years in college and multiple in the W. And I think one of the things that I learned from Carolyn Peck especially was she was one of those open door policy type of coaches. We could go to her and have direct conversations and we felt seen, we felt heard. And I remember that I just wanted to be one of those coaches. And I have a lot of mentors in this game and talking to different coaches who are the same way. One of the things as a coach, as a player, you want to be heard, and as a coach, you got to be able to talk to players in ways that you might not always like what you hear when you come in, right? And so just being honest and truthful and transparent, allowing them to voice their concerns and for me to be able to hear it and for me to be able to address my concerns and for them to be able to hear it. I think that it helps that our staff is a staff full of athletes that played at this level in this league. And so we're very open to that. We encourage that. We want that. And that's how we get better as a staff. That's how I get better as a coach. And our players help me with that every single day.
Did you get a chance to talk with Frank when in LA?
I did, yeah.
Anything, did you talk about your current situation or his new one, or what did that entail, if anything?
Yeah, just a little bit. I told him congrats on the Dallas thing, and I've seen him intermittently throughout the course of broadcasting, around the way, and had a game of theirs when he was in Phoenix, and we talked shop a little bit, but more than anything, just reconnecting with him and his daughter, who, geez, the last time I saw her, she was really young, younger than my kids. And making sure that I had the right number, because I do want to talk to him. He's going through some of the things that I'm going through as a coach, and utilizing him as a resource is huge. So it was great to connect with him, great to catch up, and we'll definitely be having some phone calls here in the future.